give a recommendation on which of the two ordinances. Pardon me?
On path forward.
And a path forward.
Great.
Prevail. Does that?
Can I ask, is based on that motion, does that make any sense to you?
President Lyman, it appears that the board, based on Trustee Mahoney's amended motion, is asking us to look at our prior opinion and the opinion that you provided last week and
weigh the two
And
and decide
weigh the
which
two.
is valid?
correct.
And that's not for you to decide. That's my whole point. You have to know that that's inappropriate.
This is a motion.
It's beyond
This is a motion.
your scope
He's not
of the
making that
relationship
motion.
between the village and the village attorney.
The village attorney can give opinions about matters that address the official actions, authorities of the village president and board of trustees.
Which you've already done.
Attorneys have done that all the time. We opined on that previously. There's been a contrary opinion presented.
Right.
So, the village attorney makes no decisions in any municipality, to be clear. To your point, President Lynham, the village attorney can't direct that anything be done or not be done because we don't hold any authority in our hands. We simply interpret the law and deliver those opinions to the village, who is the client. Our client is not any individual on this board, of course. So, with all that said, we could review both opinions, one of which we wrote, one of which was produced last week, and give a further analysis of our opinion in light of what was produced. But that at most is what we could do because we take no action. We cannot tell any of you what to do. We don't tell you what to do. We lay out options based on the law. And that's it.
So if that's what
Which one of the two ordinances that are cited in each one of the opinions prevail? Which,
that's not for him to decide, Kevin.
no, which,
In his opinion.
Yes.
in
In
his
his opinion,
opinion.
and that's fine. So then, Greg, then
Or if they completely contradict, he will give us that opinion as well.
okay, that's fine.
Call.
Great, then I would request
Call a
that you notate all the expenses incurred for that effort separately from any other work being done by Kleinthorpe and Jenkins for the Village of East Dundee so that we can get an easily itemized list and total dollar amount spent specifically for this effort.
Based on this motion, yes, we can create, it's called a separate matter number,
Got it.
President Lynham, like we do for your development projects.
Right.
And we will do that here.
Okay. Because then we're going to go ahead and we're going to present to the residents of this town the extra money that has been spent chasing this, and frankly, chasing our tails on a
Based
matter.
on, because of you.
No, Trish, it's not because of me. You can go
Okay,
ahead.
call the question.
Catherine, please call the roll. Who was the second?
Did you say?
I will second my
Trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
Trustee Coonsey,
Yes.
Trustee Britton. Yes. Trustee Saliano.
Yes.
And Trustee Trice.
Hey, well, moving on. Our financial reports.
I didn't hear.
I'm sorry.
It's a no.
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 Okay.
It's a no.
Fools. Sorry.
Okay, the financial reports and warrants list is in the packet, big number this month, and so if any questions can be directed to Brandis or to Jennifer for the moment. Let's see, we'll go to reports. I'll start out. I really have nothing. I'd just like to congratulate our two new sergeants for our police in our police department and the efforts that have been done to get us to that point. Appreciate it. And that's really all I have. Sarah?
I met with Pam this morning about the police pension fund, and I want to try to get that on the agenda for one. For the November 8th or November 15th meetings, so that we can get a little progress made on that.
It would be kind of an education, we've talked about this briefly before. I think we were supposed to have a presentation in September, it didn't happen, so I want to get that listed for either the 8th or the 15th.
Kathleen?
It came to my attention that our past village president, Roger Aarons, passed away on Saturday.
I didn't hear that.
So I just want to make sure that if there's anything that we can do as a village, Catherine has promised that she'll forward any services information. Beyond just being village president, he also ran anchor to River Street at one point in time, a long, long time ago. So I wish condolences to Roger's family.
And he and Diane actually too ran a bakery kind of effort for veterans, and it was very well received for a number of years. They've been doing that. So it's a shame I hadn't heard that. So yeah, thoughts go out to the family.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Quinn.
I think the whole board received an email today about a water bill that was something like $1,400. You maybe a leaking toilet or something to that effect. I'm just wondering, Phil, we have installed smart meters or no? We were talking about doing that at one point, I thought.
On the water meter side, smart meter, I'm not quite sure what, we have radio read capabilities to.
Radio reading.
Correct.
Okay, so what does that entail?
Prior to radio read, each home had a touchpad.
Right.
So the radio meter reader would physically walk up to the home, touch the reading device to this little black button and collect the meter read. Now, we literally drive up and down each street and we can collect meter reads via radio technology. So we can read the entire community in less than a day.
Less than a day, but it takes most of a day?
I wouldn't say that. However long it takes us to drive every street in town, which without disruption or interruption, we could probably get it in less than a day. Absolutely.
I mean, my thought initially was it'd be great if there were a way we could catch these things, you know, during the billing cycle so that, you know, it's not a big surprise at the end, but it sounds like that's not a realistic option, is it?
Well, some communities read monthly. We obviously read every other month. That's an option. And that's one of the reasons, the advantages, if you will, of going to a monthly read is you, in a situation like this, you would catch something that is so that would be one way to do it.
I guess, in addition to that, maybe going monthly, we can talk about these things in the supplemental utility meeting. And also, you know, she mentioned the homeowner and mentioned the policy that Elgin has. It's not at no fault to the property. So that's something we're going to talk about as well. I guess, how do we get that moving is the question.
Phil, I would probably recommend that you maybe we could put together a utility committee meeting, maybe sit in on it with them, so you can help direct that traffic.
One option could be researching what other towns do. There's an internet search that we can contact some municipalities to see if they do that. We may not publish a formal policy online, but we may have considered policies for considering utility bill adjustments. We can go a formal policy, could be a combination of perhaps for a community discussion, research, how other towns are handling it, a list of possibilities and discuss that.
So right now is our method just to actually you can just drive by and point the reader, the gun, if you will, at the house, or do we have to be right up on top of that little pod?
No, right now, radio read, we drive down the
Just drive down the street.
street,
Yeah.
don't even, we
Get
have
out of the car.
in the vehicle, we have a laptop that receives the signal from the different meters.
Yeah.
The ERTs, we call it, which is essentially the little device. You have a water meter inside the home, and you have another little device that's wired to the meter. And then that's what sends the signal to our equipment when we pull the read that way.
Yeah, actually, there are equipments available too that can send that signal back to a central location device, if you will, that will eliminate the
For
need
that as well, yeah.
for the drive. So I don't know if that's technology that we have to, upgrade to or what, but that exists.
My question was more like,
with
how do we
this
actually start
situation.
this, like, put on this meeting?
Oh, the actual committee meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I would kind of like Phil to put together an agenda and just discuss. I realize this is kind of an open-ended thing, because, you know, we don't know what we don't know kind of thing is what we're faced with, so
But,
it'll be a little convoluted.
so that's a long-term, you know, kind of solution or evolution of what
Down
our
the road.
policies are. But with directly to this, to Judy Ruffalo's email, you know, it's a crazy amount.
It is.
What is your question also, what can we do about this?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think. we
With
should-
regard to this particular customer?
Yeah. I was thinking maybe what we could do is, you know, maybe touch base with both Phil, Jennifer, if you could weigh in, it doesn't have to be right now, but, you know, how have we handled it in the past, you know, in years past? I mean, these kind of things happen all the time, we know that. You know, what has been the village's position on some of these things? You know, at this point, I don't know, you know, what that would be. But obviously,
I can make it better than I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we've already, but you guys can, you know, relax about that issue, and I agree looking at the long-term solution. But it is very common, actually, running toilets is like the number one thing that happens. People don't realize that a little bit of running toilet leads to a very high bill very quickly. So it's very common. We believe we've got the solution for the residents. You know, as Brad stated earlier too, we're also very relaxed on payment plans. We understand, you know, when money can be received and paid. So at least for this issue, we think we have a solution, and yeah, we can certainly look at like what would be better long term. The code is pretty outdated. So but I don't so much to worry about this resident. There's actually another resident right now with a very similar situation. So it seems to always be there's a running toilet issue. So I don't want you to worry about that.
Our website has last year's committees still. I was apparently the chair of the utility committee, so I guess I'll be emailing whoever you put on this committee, the new one.
Hey Scott, I got it pulled up because are we talking utility?
Yeah.
Utility is Andreessen, Honey, Saviano.
Oh, I'm off that.
yeah, meeting sentence,
Yeah.
higher information on the, no, not higher.
No.
So actually too, just to let people know, if they have any, you know, suspicions that, you know, you have a device like that that's, you know, fixture that's leaking a couple of drops of food coloring in the tank, let it sit. If it starts working its way through into the bowl, you'll know you gotta leave it. So if it goes away all of a sudden, boom, you know, hey, you got something going on. So it's just kind of a way to follow the whole path of the water. So that's, it might not be a bad idea to just do that maybe once or twice a year, just to check. It doesn't take much, just a couple of drops and that's it. So, okay. Scott, did you have anything?
No, that was.
Okay. Trustee Carter?
No report.
No report. Trustee Zaniano? No report. Okay, well, we'll go around the room. Jennifer, would you like to start?
I have no report.
No report, okay. Joe, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Carroll Road is in town, work on the street program. They've already removed and replaced the curbs that are planned to be replaced, so that's moving right along.
Yeah, that's all Crestwood there out through the terrace?
Yep, Park Aberdeen, Deer Bed, Crestwood.
Yeah. So was any of the work going to be done too, maybe we could talk about this offline, right in front of the Spartan throwing business that's going to be going on? Or is that going to be considered just a smooth transition? We talked about that possibly being that whole road all the way down to Carolina.
Right, we put together a concept plan and a budget, so maybe that's something for next year's program.
Okay, good enough, good enough. Chris?
I have two adjudication hearings that we're going to have for November 17th for property maintenance. One is at the River Valley Square Shopping Center for neglect on the storm damage in their parking lot. The other one is the Hager property for the unsafe structure and all their maintenance issues there.
Gotcha.
So they will both be taking adjudication. So
Is our tenant
have not verified that, but they are also being named in the adjudication. They will be noticed up here also for their violation, not having a business license and occupying a safe structure. The building has been posted on the entrance ways.
Great. And I'd like to thank you, Chris, too, for getting after River Leaves for the facade fascia that they have, the facade siding that was coming down. There's a fascia piece. They decided to replace that whole siding on that gable, and I would have just, I think I would have been happy with it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, there's a fascia piece that still yet needs to go up, but,
They were still finishing
They were
today.
good, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great, yeah. I was thinking they just set it back in place and nail it in place from, what was dangling, that would have probably sufficed. But, the replacement of it works too, so, great. Is that it?
That's it.
Great. Friends?
Our auditor is working on site this week for more field work.
Okay.
And we'll start the budget process as soon as I'm finished working through audit stuff. So if you have any budget requests already in mind, you can start sending those over to myself or to Jennifer. And that's it for me.
Great. Chief?
I have no report.
Okay, Phil?
Just a couple of quick notes on our water system, distribution system. We have two projects. Water tower painting project is underway.
Saw that.
They're doing some steel work, welding work, repairs currently, and we'll be installing the containment system this week. So hopefully see some activity with the exterior here real soon, weather permitting.
Great.
So keep on for the weather. And then as you may have read, our well 5 went down about a week and a half-ish ago. So we had a contractor come in to pull the well and the pump, which bottom of the well is approximately 268 feet. So the motor's been brought in for assessments, televised. The well casing down to the screen today, which all the way down to about 268 feet. So it appears to be in good condition. So we've got above ground activity and some below ground activity right there.
The lining is good, isn't it?
Pardon?
The lining isn't a problem, is it?
No.
Good. And that's the shallow well up on 68?
Yeah, shallow. So
The deep is fine?
the deep one, running, yeah.
And the, what was it, was a radon issue there for a while too, the neck was up?
The barium,
The barium.
so we are treating the system, when we brought well 6 back online, or essentially brought it online, a little over a year and a half ago. We've been monitoring barium levels there, and everything's within standards, or we're in compliance with barium on our side of the river.
Great. And the river clearing continues?
Continues, crew was out today, continuing they're now, I think, we're close to up to the pedestrian bridge, and they're working their way just on the south side of the pedestrian bridge.
To the south?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anything else?
Nope, that's
Okay,
it.
and last but not least, village attorney.
I said enough, no over.
Okay, we got our staff reports. That leads us to public comment on non-agenda items. Does anybody who'd like to address the board on a non-agenda item?
Yeah, so we have Lonnie's,
Okay.
Gallery 611.
I'm looking for a moment.
Sure.
Well, good evening, everyone. So last time I was here, I saw some faces that I know, but then I figured a lot of people that did not know me, I would introduce myself. So I'm Landy Sanusi. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a former engineer. I served in the Illinois Army National Guard, and I left as a staff sergeant. And the last thing that I've been doing for the last 6 years is an entrepreneur. So I consider myself an entrepreneur. I started out in East Dundee doing something else. And when I faced a lot of challenge in the building 611 East Main Street with the business that I had. But I stuck with it as much as I could, and then I pivoted to something else. And that is why I went from having like a cultural center to having a small boutique banquet hall in that building. Suffice it to say that I weathered that storm, and I was able to pivot, like I said. But then pivoting meant that I had to kind of build a relationship and build a business over time. So I've been in East Dundee for about 5-6 years now, and I've built a reputation, I believe, here as Gallery 611 is a place that's for family. People come there to do their birthday parties. They come there to, quinceaneras, small weddings. The maximum capacity is like 100 people. So we really can't do much more than that anyway. So the thing that came to my attention is when I came here last time, I realized that I had been reaching out for the last 4 or 5 years on ways to expand from where I am to more. And I think that maybe I'm not doing a good job of maybe reaching out, or maybe when I do reach out, maybe I'm not saying the right things or asking the right questions. When I reached out in the past, I have asked, is it possible for me to purchase this space that's right next to mine? And I was told that different things. First of all, the price that I was offered was said that they said it was too low. But as good as my credit is, and as valuable as I am as a lender, nobody wants to pay the going rate for that unit that is being asked for. So when I made the proposal, I was told that that's not the square footage that they would charge normally for a space like that. But we have to all understand that that space is not that space like that. I still have to put a lot of time and effort and money into it. When I started with the unit that I have right now, it was a swimming pool. I had to fill it in and do the flooring and then turn it into, put a door, put a window, and turn it into what it is right now. What I'm asking is that I see that a lot of consideration are being made for other people. Even with the unit that I'm in right now, I serve the community. I have people that work for me, that help me, that are from the community. I pay my taxes, and I believe that I'm a non-problematic neighbor to my neighbors. I make sure I go out of my way to make sure that they're not being bothered by what we do. And we also have really high rating because of that, because we cater to that. What I'm asking is that, I see that people are getting consideration for this space. And given the fact that some of the common area that we have for that space is being used to serve the village right now, consideration should be allowed to those people that actually have a portion in that building to have a say first before other people, come forward and say they want to get it, they want to purchase it too. So what I'm saying is that we have so much space that is part of our common area. The village is using a part of it for other ventures. And I feel like, at least if I'm in the building and I'm interested, I should at least be given the opportunity to what's the word, like you guys give me a chance to at least explain what it is that I'm looking for, and if it doesn't match, then fine. But I feel like I'm not getting my point across, or maybe something is getting lost in translations. The fact that I want to get that space, and every single thing that I've tried to do that seems to be shut down. I just want an opportunity. Maybe you guys can tell me the right way to approach it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. If I approach it the right way, then I want to be able to explain what it is that I'm trying to do. I've rendered out architectural drawing, I've submitted it, I've submitted my proposal, I've sent emails, and I feel like I'm not getting as far as I want to get. And I really hope that you guys will consider that opportunity. Thank you for giving me the chance to address you today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That will take us to executive.
Is it possible for you to go ahead and just forward what you sent before with your proposals for those?
Yes, it is.
To the rest of the trustees, or to?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Should I forward it to, just in the copy of Kathy? Will you forward it?
Send it to the village board in general.
So
Oh, just say
send it
so.
to
Okay,
our
yes.
emails are
Okay,
on the website.
yes, thank you.
Okay. Item 11 is executive session. It looks like we are going into an executive session, and I'm assuming that we will adjourn into executive session. So if I could have a motion.
I will move that we go into executive session, closed to the public and media under provisions of the Illinois Open Meeting Act, 5 ILCS 120/C, C1 personnel, and we will adjourn from the executive session.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Okay, Kat?
Trustee Mahoney? Yes. Trustee Cozy?
Yes.
Trustee Britton? Yes. Trustee Saviano?
Yes.
Trustee Schreiber?
Yes.
And President Lang.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you all for coming.